Hi, friends and family. I just want to share with you all a little bit about what's been going on lately with me. Um, as many of you know, I did go and get that second opinion, and we are moving forward with the bypass surgery. I had a nuclear stress test on yesterday. As far as I know, everything went really, really well. And tomorrow, November 17th, is the day of my bypass surgery so that we can get more circulation and more blood flow down my leg to the ends of my foot. Well, surprisingly, Friday I had a very long day, but the doctor wanted me to come in and see him. This is the second opinion now. And he posed a question to me. He asked if on tomorrow, Wednesday, when he went in for the bypass surgery, he looked at the wound and determined that when he looked at it, when he sees it, and he doesn't think there's enough tissue, flesh, bone left to for me to be able to walk on my foot successfully. Would I give him the okay to, instead of a bypass, go in there and cut my leg off below the knee? Imagine the shock. I'm like, I thought we had gotten past all this. And I was like, no. And he's like, so you mean even if we didn't think a bypass could help anything, that you would want us to go in there and do the bypass anyway? I was like, yes, because I believe that it does. And he, before I could even say that, I was like, no, you can't cut it off. He went on to talk about, basically he was saying, if he goes in there and sees this, I have to make sure that my answer that I came back to him was not an emotional answer, or that he knows that lots of times we, basically he's saying, rely on our faith and things like that, but we have to have a reality check. And if he goes in there and sees one way, he's making a decision based on his education, his educated guesses and experience and all of that. And I was just like, no, I will not give you permission to go ahead and cut my leg off. And so he was like, oh, well, I'll give you the weekend and we'll wait up until the day of surgery and we'll revisit the question. On yesterday, I was speaking with Dr. Ruby, a good friend of mine. And well, I actually wasn't talking to her. We were texting, and I was telling her about what's going on, and I was telling her that God isn't done with me yet. I don't believe that God is giving up on me or my leg at this point. And she texted me something, and it said, walk by faith, child, walk by faith. And it triggers a memory in me from my childhood, when I was probably about 9 or 10 years old, starting about that time. My parents, when we came home from church, they would turn Reverend Price on the television. We grew up in Chicago, and they would turn that on the television, and he would have his service and preach his sermon. And at the end of his sermon, every day before it went off, every Sunday, he would quote from the Bible, walk by faith, not by sight. Walk by faith, not by sight. And I remember this wiry man with a thick mustache and little afro and little wiry, the glasses on, walking with his black Bible in his hand, saying, walk by faith, not by sight. And the reason why this stood out is because as kids, we would hear it and we would repeat it. We would, repeat him, and we would walk around the house, walk by faith, not by sight. Walk by faith, not by sight. Just little kids, we hear that and we would repeat that over and over so that it actually stuck in my mind, and that when she said that, it automatically triggered that memory. And I realized that the answer to the question that the doctor posed to me last Friday had been answered by God for me over 30 years ago. Take that back. Over 40 years ago in my life. I'm 50 now. I forgot. I made 50. So when I was about 19 years ago, that was 40 years ago. God had already answered that question using